Welcome to Breaking Financial Chains, where we combine practical money guidance with emotional healing to help you break free from financial limitations. I'm Tanya Riverson, your financial wingwoman.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Breaking Financial Chains. This episode we're going to be talking about the lifestyle audit, which is basically examining the costs of your current lifestyle. How exciting does that sound? Now, if this makes you want to run for the hills, this is probably exactly why this is a really good episode for you to buckle up and sit in and listen to. Maybe get yourself a cup of coffee, maybe take yourself out for a walk and just listen in to what we're talking about. Notice how you're feeling and maybe give it a go anyway. Who knows where it might take you? So the themes for this episode are around financial clarity, value alignment, and guilt-free decision making. Permission slip, again, I talk about this on so many of my episodes. It is about giving you permission to make the changes for the life that you want, right? If you want to make a change, if you're thinking that you aren't exactly happy with the lifestyle that you currently have, you are the one that can take control and make the changes that are needed. So let's get started. So, big question. Is your lifestyle costing you more than you think? Good question, right? Is it though? And the only way you're going to know that is to start to get curious. You might be living the life you thought you wanted, but is it costing you, not just in terms of money, is it costing you in terms of peace, in terms of freedom, and in terms of the future that you want for yourself? Honest answers, big girl pants on, let's go. We've got to invite curiosity into this process. This has got nothing to do with shame or hitting ourselves over the head with past choices. We can only change future choices, future decisions, which we can absolutely do in a safe way. This is not about giving anything up either. This is about seeing clearly and being able to make a different choice, right? Financial freedom, having control over our money, is about the ability to say no, the ability to choose differently, because that takes us where we want to go. And we get to do that unapologetically. So what is a lifestyle audit? It is a practical and emotional check-in. Notice the emotional. This is not just about having a look at your bank statements or opening your bank statements if they're sat in a pile, still in the envelopes, hidden in a drawer somewhere. This is about looking at what you're spending and why. How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel at the thought of spending it? How does it make you feel after the fact that the money has been spent and you have something tangible, whether that is by way of products or services, whatever you're paying for? Ask yourself, do my daily choices reflect my values or my autopilot? Am I just doing something I've always done? Do I actually get something out of it? What you might discover as part of this process, it will be enlightening. There will be things in there that you see and go, oh my God, I didn't realise I was still paying for that subscription, for example. Or I had no idea I spent that much on X, Y, or Z. Is that something you want to change? That's completely up to you. You don't have to. You don't have to make any changes. The goal in the first instance is in awareness. But what you might discover are hidden drains. Again, not just about the physical pennies that are coming out of your bank account. So it could be subscriptions, as I've already mentioned. It could be fast fashion. It could be the quick trips to your shopping place of choice for leggings, t-shirts, tights, whatever it might be, beauty products. It could be the takeaways because of the convenience that they provide, or because of the social element you perhaps get for what that signifies to you when you spend on takeaways. It could be around people pleasing, not always easy to acknowledge or accept, but this is about being an open book and being honest with yourself. You don't have to share this information with anybody else unless you choose to. But notice it, because when we realise where those hidden drains are and what they mean to us, we can then choose if that's something that we want to continue with. Does that feel good? Is it emotional spending related to guilt or some sort of reward, or does that come from a place of boredom? Being really honest with yourself and noticing, being curious. You might discover misaligned choices, spending to maintain an image that no longer serves you, that no longer fits with the real you. This isn't about I need to make masses of changes, I need to cancel all of these payments and burning everything to the ground. This is about noticing first and foremost, being curious and having awareness. You don't need to take any actions immediately. We get to sleep on this, we get to have a think before we make any changes. And the reason why reflection is really useful, rather than just cancelling everything on a whim and feeling good about having taken action, is it the right action? Because the real cost of money leaks and people pleasing and other examples that we've talked about isn't just financial. The cost to you is time. You know, having to work extra to fund a lifestyle if that lifestyle no longer serves you anymore. If it's to fit in with people around you or because of the image that you want to portray. It costs you in terms of energy, right? Juggling to keep up the appearance of what you want people to see and think about you. The energy that it takes to manage, the energy to work, you know, in terms of the time as well. Or, you know, if you look around you at all the stuff that you're surrounded by, all of that stuff used to be money and all of that money used to be time. So really thinking about what it takes to earn and bring that in. Also the cost around opportunity, the opportunity cost of spending on certain things and what that therefore means we can't spend on if we don't have it. So for example, the inability to invest or save, or the inability to leave a situation because you can't afford to leave, or the inability to pivot because your money is already spoken for needing to stay in a situation or a job, as an example, because of the income that that provides just to keep your head above water and maintain the equilibrium. If we don't have that extra buffer, we can't make those different choices. And that can land quite heavily. If it lands quite heavily for you, be kind to yourself, take a deep breath and reflect on what that means to you and what you could do differently going forward. Because identifying where the lifestyle is no longer fulfilling for us allows us to make different choices. And it doesn't need to be all in one go. It doesn't need to be cancelling subscriptions, changing what we're buying on a weekly basis. This just needs to be awareness. And I'm going to keep repeating that. Are you buying convenience but craving calm? Ask yourselves these questions. What is it making you feel? And is that feeling something that you're comfortable to sit with? Are you buying recognition but actually craving rest? Interesting. Are you buying access? Ooh, this one's going to hit a little bit hard for some people. Are you buying access but actually craving freedom to do things your own way? Are you wanting to be seen with certain people that isn't actually getting you the return that you hoped for when you absolutely get permission to do it your own way? Because your way is the right way. So reflect on these sorts of questions and think about how listening to these make you feel. And it wouldn't be right to talk about doing a lifestyle audit without actually giving you some of the practical how-to. So I'm going to give you a quick step-by-step if you feel called to actually give this a go. So first thing you need to do to carry out a lifestyle audit is to pull together the last, I would suggest at least 3 months, bank statements, credit card statements, PayPal account summaries, everything that you need to look at where your money has gone. If that feels too much, start with 1 month. What have you spent in the last month? If you feel like going all in, hell, go for as far back as you would like. I need to reiterate, this is not an exercise in banging yourself over the head with past spending mistakes, if that's how you choose to label them. This is about awareness. This is about gathering data. When we have enough data, we can then start to look at patterns. We can then start to look at what we might want to change to be more aligned with where we're going in the future. Once you've got all of that information, you can do it by handwritten records. You can do it using an Excel spreadsheet. I personally am a huge fan of an Excel spreadsheet and a cheeky little formula. I find it saves me some time, and it means I can rearrange things dependent upon how I want to see that information later. So you're going to look to sort the information that you have on your spending into categories. We're going to have categories along the lines of essentials, things that you cannot not spend on, like paying the mortgage or the rent, like being able to turn the heating on or the lighting on, you know, all of your utilities, all of your essential living expenses. Where you've got value-based spending, that might include donations to charity, that might include where you want to spend on yourself because it's important for you, for your own growth, for your own development. I want you to use a category for autopilot. Where are you spending without really thinking about it and without getting any value from it? And I want you to have a category for regret. What do you want to change? What doesn't sit right with you, and what do you want to think differently about? So 4 categories: essentials, values, autopilot, regret. So we're not putting these into categories of food, electricity, kids, Christmas. This is not about categorizing in that respect. This is about thinking how the money and the spending is aligned to you and what's important to you. Ask then, once we've got everything into categories, after you've gone through that exercise, what would I keep, tweak, or release? You can color code it, another great thing about Excel. You can shuffle into different columns. Have an absolute Beano with your Excel spreadsheet or your records. Get yourself a nice set of highlighters. Steal them from the kids cupboard, which is what I would do because they've got so much by way of stationery, and personally I don't need any excuse to invest in some new stationery. You can always buy some more if that fits in with your values and your spending. 100% tax deductible if you run your own business, because obviously it's very important to have. Categorize, split, identify what you would choose to do going forward once you've analysed the hard data. What can we then do with that information once you've spent that time on it? And it might take you a little while. 3 months worth of spending, that's not going to take you 10 minutes to do. That's going to be an investment in your time. Maybe you need to set yourself a money date in the diary for when you're going to sit down and get that done. Totally up to you how you do it. What I don't want you to do is slash and burn. So we're going to make adjustments with compassion. We're going to consider maybe why we were spending on that in the first place. What was it that we were avoiding or seeking if it's something that we want to release? What is it that we were trying to achieve in the first place, and have some understanding for past you for those spending, for the spending that we've actually already done. Can't change it. We can't take it back. Or maybe you can. Maybe there are some things you could return in the immediate past. But this is not about punishment or self-bashing. This is about understanding and making changes so that we can alter and tweak our habits going forward. Find your hell yes spends versus the energy leaks. What are you looking at now and thinking, oh my God, look at all of that money that I could have put somewhere else. How can I change things so that from this day forward, or from next week or next month, I'm going to change the trajectory of what happens with that money? And then start to reroute small amounts into goals, into buffers, into emergency funds, into freedom funds. I believe this is a clean podcast. So sometimes we refer to a freedom fund as an F-off fund. I'm not going to use the word. I'm going to keep it clean and see how long that can last. It'll probably be my first guest interview where that goes wrong, but we'll see. We'll see how long we can manage. Small tweaks, manageable changes, safe adjustments. when it comes to changing what we do with our money. So listen to some earlier episodes on this podcast around changing your money story, and be kind to yourself. Recognize when you start to get triggered or frustrated or emotional around looking at past spending habits. We can't change them, but there is a reason why we have done it. It's okay to open that box. It's okay to look at why. It's okay to make a different choice going forward. But by taking on this exercise with compassion, we can understand that it's okay. Everything's okay, and everything is adjustable to move forward. This is not about finding a way to punish yourself for past things that you've done. As I like to do on as many of my podcast episodes as I can, I'm going to give you some reflection prompts to journal around if you feel so called. So just two today. What is my lifestyle currently costing me emotionally or energetically? So we don't need to write and list and duplicate the work we've already done. We want to notice how it's making you feel. We want to notice how you're feeling around it. We want to notice what's coming up for you and what that might be related to. Is this the life I choose or the one I've grown used to? Is another powerful prompt. Is this the life I choose or the one I've grown used to? Because guess what? We get to choose. We get to choose differently if that's what we want to do. So to wrap up the episode today, you don't need a new life. You just need a clearer lens. And the only way we can make different choices going forward is understand what has been before, where our habits are, so that we can make different choices. And you absolutely deserve a lifestyle that matches your values, not just your income. And I'm going to record an episode on money and values and self-worth, because I think this is such an important topic to start a conversation around. And the absolute, if you only take one message from this episode, particularly if you're actually going to take action, an audit is not a punishment. The purpose, the goal, is to find a path to peace. This is a path to peace. And you deserve to feel safe looking at this information. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to see you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining me today on Breaking Financial Chains. Remember, you have the power to transform your relationship with money one step at a time. If this episode helped you, please subscribe and leave a review to help others find their path to financial freedom. I'm Tanya, your financial wing woman, and I'll see you next week.